Hello, and welcome to week 4 of our overpopulation unit. This week, we're going to look at the solutions to overpopulation. We have 10 vocabulary words this week. The first one is procreation, which is a noun, and the verb form is procreate, and it means to produce children or offspring. Remember that produce means to make. So again, procreate means to make children or offspring. Example sentence: a fertile person can procreate. Our next vocabulary word is contraception. Again, contraception. This is a noun, it's a thing. So, things that are done or ways to prevent a woman from becoming pregnant. Our example sentence reads: contraception gives women a choice to become pregnant. The next vocabulary word is birth control. This is a noun. Birth control, it basically means the same thing as contraception. Things or ways to keep a woman from getting pregnant. Contraception. Our example sentence reads: she stopped taking her birth control because they decided to have a child. The next vocabulary word is a verb. It is implement. It means to begin to use or do something, or to make active or effective. Our example sentence reads: the school plans to implement a no cell phone in class policy. That would be lovely, right? Our next vocabulary word is privilege, which is a noun, and the adjective form is privileged. So, a privilege is a right or benefit that is given to some people, but not to others. Another meaning is it can be a special opportunity to do something that makes you proud. So, our example sentence reads: good health care should be a right and not a privilege. Our next vocabulary word is family planning, which is a noun. This is the use of birth control to determine the number of children there will be in a family and when those children will be born. Our example sentence, reads: fertility doctors can help couples with family planning. The next vocabulary word that we have is income. It's a noun. It's money that is earned from work, investments, business, etc. So you have a job, it's the money that you make from that job. Example sentence: doctors make some of the highest incomes. Our next vocabulary word is a verb. Rely, rely on or rely upon something. So it means to need someone or something for support or help, to depend on someone or something. So she relies on her sister to drive her to school. Notice that the preposition on is put after the verb. The next vocabulary word is a verb. It is dissuade, which means to convince or cause someone not to do something. Dissuade. Our example sentence reads: I tried to dissuade him from drinking and driving. Our next vocabulary word is a idiomatic phrase. It is to take something in stride, which you're going to use as a verb. So to take that verb, something, in stride. It means to deal with a problem calmly without getting annoyed or upset. So our example sentence reads: she took the bad news in stride and did not let it ruin her day. So notice that the something is what we replaced with the bad news. So you put whatever it is that the person is being calm about right there in the place of something. Our grammar point for this week is the modal verb should. So, what is a modal verb? A modal verb is a type of helping verb that is usually followed by the base form of a verb. They add a special meaning to the main verb in the sentence. And the modal verb should can be used to express advice, obligation, probability, or expectation. So let's look at each of these situations. So the first usage, right, is to give advice. Tell someone what would be good for them. So we know that eating vegetables is good for you, and often parents tell their children to eat more vegetables. So they're giving them advice. So look at it in the affirmative. The subject comes first, then the helping verb should comes, and then the base form of your main verb, eat. In the negative form, you should not eat vegetables. You take not and you place it after should, and this becomes negative. And then if you want to make it a question, you switch the placement of your subject so that it's the second word in the sentence and should is the first. So again, you just flip flop the subject and should. So should you eat vegetables? And don't forget that question mark at the end. Another usage is obligation, things that you need to do, right? In order to get good grades, you need to study. So you should study for your exam. In the negative form, you should not study for your exam. And as a question, remember we flip flop should and the subject. So this reads, should you study for your exam? Yeah, probably. And our last usage is about probability and expectation, right? Things that are most likely going to happen. We don't know for sure, but most likely they're going to happen. So, for example, we know if we get driven to school how long that drive normally takes. So, we have an expectation, right? When we leave the house, we have an expectation that the drive is going to take X amount of minutes. So, in a sentence, we can write this expectation, we can express this expectation and probability with should. So, the drive to school should take 10 minutes. Notice that your subject here is not a pronoun. It's not you, he, she, we, they. Rather, it answers the question what, right? What should take 10 minutes? Oh, the drive to school should take 10 minutes. And the negative, again, you just put not after the should. So the drive to school should not take 10 minutes. And as a question, you flip flop again the should and the subject. And again, remember the drive to school answers the question what. So should the drive to school take 10 minutes? Yeah, it probably should take 10 minutes.